Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we will talk about set-aside codes. I'll start by walking you through what set-aside codes are. Then we will dive deep into the most common set-aside codes. After that, I will show you how you can find set-aside codes on SAM.gov, and finally, I'll give you some winning tips. Before we continue, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Let's go. Why do set-asides matter? Well, the federal government reserves procurement dollars for small businesses. And in the case of set-aside codes, the government literally set aside some contracts for socioeconomically affected businesses. So only these businesses can win these opportunities, which is very empowering for small businesses with challenging environments. So it is important for you to know the type of set-aside code. This signals which socio-economic program can compete. And by knowing the set-aside code, you'll be able to target the opportunities and tailor your proposal a lot better, and you will have a much higher chance to win this opportunity if you actually qualify for the set-aside code. We have many set-aside codes. I have a list of most of them here. I want to mention briefly that for SBA, Total Small Business Set-Aside Code, you don't really need to qualify or have any sort of a certification. If you are a small business and if you fulfill the size standard, then you are eligible to compete for this opportunity. And you see here that we have also a small business set-aside partial code. What this means is that if we have a large opportunity, then a small business can be eligible to compete for a part of it, and that's why it's called partial. But for total, you're competing for the whole opportunity. And then we have different codes below, and I will explain when you can qualify for these codes. So for 8A Business Development Program, you would qualify if you have a socially and economically disadvantaged business with less than $7 million of average annual receipts. And you can apply for this certification by SBA certified platform, and you'll have to go through the normal procedure, add your narrative, financials, and business plan. Here are some tips. If you recall the table that I showed you before, you can see that we have 8A sole source also. Your business can be eligible for 8A sole source opportunities for niche procurements up to $7 million in manufacturing or $4.5 million in services. And then we have a moratorium that waives geographic restrictions for construction. And this could be very important if you are in the construction business. Going on to the next program, we have HUBZone, which stands for Historically Underutilized Business Zone. This is essentially, I can show you, we have a HUBZone map that the SBA has on its website. And you see here we have different zones. So if your business is in one of these zones, then you qualify for HUBZone opportunities. And the requirement is that the principal office is in a qualified HUBZone in one of the zones that we saw on the map, and 35% of employees live in those HUBZones. The map was recently updated in July 2023. Next, we have SDVOSB, which stands for Service Disabled Veteran Owned Small Businesses. And there's also a sole source variant of it, more than 51% owned by service disabled vets. The certification process was recently moved to SBA, so if you want to get a SDVOSB certification, you'll have to do it via SBA. And here lastly, I have a small tip. If the opportunity is less than 250K, then it's automatically set aside for small businesses. You can ask the contracting officer to further narrow this down to only SDVOSB set-aside codes if your business qualified for this, to make it even easier for you to win the opportunity. Continuing to women-owned set-aside codes, We have the WOSB qualification, where a business could qualify for it if more than 51% of the business is owned and controlled by women. There is also EDWOSB, which is economically disadvantaged women-owned small businesses, where the personal net worth of the owners should be less than or equal to $800,000 for your business to qualify for this. And then I just want to mention a general rule where all opportunities under $250,000 are usually small business set-asides, which is good to know. And finally, it's good to know that agencies have a goal of offering 5% of the opportunities for women-owned small businesses. So it's very important for your business to stay compliant. Some tips and some stuff to think about. Of course, when working with the government, we need always to think about compliance. So, of course, we need to be as transparent as possible when it comes to our business's socioeconomical status. So we try to follow the set-aside that actually represents our business. Failing to do so will, of course, result in consequences. If you are doing a joint venture with a larger business, you would have to file a joint venture agreement before the offer, and you do this via SBA. And then you have to think about the size standard. Most of these opportunities, you will have a size standard stated in the document, in the solicitation. So keep track of it and verify at the time of offer. And I want to mention an important thing. If we go to the website of the Small Business Administration, we have a table of size standards. Here we have different NAICS codes, and for each NAICS code, we have a size standard set in either millions of dollars or the number of employees. So take a NAICS code that matches your industry and see the size standard for your business. It's a quite long list, but hopefully you will find your code here. So this is how we can find the size standard if it is not stated otherwise. We just take the NAICS code and we look it up in the table there. And finally, something to think about are the subcontracting limits. So the prime must self-perform 50% of the job when it comes to services and 50% of the job when it comes to construction, and he can subcontract the remaining part. So how can we find these set-aside contracts? I have two options. First, we can use SAM.gov and use advanced search filters. Let's do it. We head to SAM.gov, we click on contracting, and then we click on advanced search. And here we have a menu, click on set aside, and then we have the different set aside codes that we mentioned. So if you are interested in owned small businesses, we click on this one. And here we have a lot of opportunities. So of course we need to filter by date as an example, or use the different filters. We may need to enter the NAICS code of our business by clicking on product or service information and then choosing the NAICS code, and so on. A different approach is using SamSearch. So SamSearch is the ultimate AI platform for government contracting. We have an AI-powered search. What's special about SamSearch's AI-powered search is that it understands the context of your sentence. So if I take construction and I write WOSB for women-owned small business, then it will actually find me a firm fixed price construction contract for women-owned small businesses. It's as easy as that. We have the NAICS code, and we see that it's for commercial and institutional building construction. Here we have similar filters to what we have on SAM.gov. So I can actually also use the filters here to find the opportunities. What's also interesting here is that we have an AI generated summary that gives me the gist of the opportunity, so it becomes a lot easier for me to see if this is something for me or not. I can always click on the opportunity and ask our AI assistant for more details about this opportunity, which makes it even easier for me to make quick bid no bid decisions. And then finally, I can generate a proposal using AI and respond to the government in record time. So here, as an example, I can write what is the statement of work. And it's as simple and as easy as this. I get the statement of work. So now that we have covered how we can find set-aside contracts, I want to finish off this video by giving you some small tips that could help you along the way. First, it could be good to highlight the set-aside codes in the subject lines. Many times the contracting officer will have to skim through a long list of emails. So showing that your business is eligible for this opportunity will make the life of the contracting officer a bit easier. It could also be beneficial to quote the agency's goals, which shows that you know their pain points and shortfalls. You can also bundle a capability statement with a larger prime. This will open up the opportunity for you to bid on more contracts. And finally, update your capability statement as frequently as you can. Here I wrote quarterly. This is important because you'll need to reflect any new NAICS codes for your business. That was it, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next one.